So we had a person interested in buying our last house, which we didn't think we were ever going to sell. So in giving it consideration, I'd heard about this house. We talked to a broker and he said, I'm not sure if you're gonna like it. It's a bit spooky. You know, it's very different. So we arrive and here's this very Normandy style country house. I've never wanted a French country house. I mean, it was the last thing I ever thought. And then the door opened. It hadn't been lived in for 2 or 3 years. And it felt that way. It felt cold and empty. But I started looking at the house. Like, you know, generally designers, when they look at a space when we're going in to renovate, my eye kind of already peels away kind of the layer of things that aren't nice, like decor, furniture. And I look at the bones and I start looking at the woodwork in the house and the beautiful beamed ceilings. It was built very sensitively by a very well-known person in the 70s who researched and went with a very well-known architect. And so it was properly done. And the layout was like a little bit confusing, but there was something about it. And as soon as I basically took a sketch paper over the photograph of the living room, and I drew this tremendous 10-foot by 10-foot window, which sees the entire lake, I knew that this house was going to be something else. The first thing when you come into this house, and it actually almost echoes because it's like about 22 feet high, you can actually hear me echoing here, is this beautiful sort of rotunda that you enter. And we put a new black and white floor in, and then we had Elitis from France make this mural, which continually runs around the room. It's almost like a landscape or something. I just love the fact of going from gray to lighter gray, and just kind of gives, I don't know, kind of a mysterious kind of feeling to the entrance. So I felt like we had to make this entrance black, and everything was black and white, but then I brought in this gold, this beautiful Brunswick velvet in these little contemporary ottomans that kind of gave a little place for someone to sit wherever they come in. The portrait is one that we've had for a while, and it's by a French painter named Pigalle from the 1800s, but he actually was banned from France, so he went to England and painted English aristocracy. So to keep that from being too serious, this metal console kind of moves nicely with that. There's only 2 paint colors, because I think I only have 2 paint colors, dove white and black. Everyone knows I love to do black rooms, but this house, the entranceway and the front hallway, started the whole story. So you'll notice these doors, see ya, these beautiful doors, which when they built the house, they were actually antique doors that they had bought, and they had the door frames made to go around these doors. So this room, of course, it's the main room of the house. We'll call it the great room, not just a living room, it's a dining room. It's a place to entertain. It's a wonderful place to have a fire. And even on a grim day like today, we have this beautiful view of Lac-Brome through this beautiful window that was originally a solid wall. And to me, that kind of changes everything about this room. My approach to furniture is probably a little more contemporary or modern than what I would normally be known for. But you know something? Don't put me in a box. It's not what people would think I would put in a room. Probably more like 2 matching sofas, maybe a little bit more formal. It kind of worked its other way around, you know. This house also, because it was so warm in details, I wanted the furniture to be a little more edgy and a little more modern. And you'll notice the way the furniture is in this room. There's a sectional, there's another piece, the same module, but this is a different fabric with the channeling on it, and the ottoman. So it's kind of like friends can be over, movie night, someone lounging there. If we have a party, maybe this pushes out of the way. I put an 85-inch screen TV, just mounted on the wall. Not gonna hide it, not gonna make a big deal about it. Let's just put it on the wall and that's it. And you know what? It's fabulous. We sit here movie nights, it's incredible. And I think that it's always good to change. Like every designer will tell you the same thing, and people are like, oh, you know, you're just more this way or that way. I'm like, no. I'm like Donnie and Marie. Some days I'm a little bit country, some days I'm a little bit rock and roll. I mean, that is me. So don't put me in a box, don't put baby in the corner. And if I want to do modern, I do modern, and I like it. I have to say proudly, because of COVID, when the painters were kicked out of the house, I painted this mantle myself with my very own hands. Yes, I did, folks. We put in this big window, and on one side it has this great view. So on this side, as soon as we put that big mirror over the fireplace, which I love because it's traditional, it should be there. But then I have this 1970s piece of modern sculpture and then this very modern Italian fixture reflected in it. So now having the doors on either side with the mirror, it's like 2 more windows. It gives this room more sort of openness, and I get to hide more china and crystal. Even better. And yes, it looks like a stylist did my crystal cabinet, but I love it that way. So here is my bar. It's the best room of the house. So this used to be actually a way to go out to the terrace. Now that we have doors to the terrace from the dining room, from the kitchen, so it became a bar. Wonderful place to keep all of your mixes, wonderful place to keep all your crystal, and on this side we have a wine cellar. So this was a room that we kept and enhanced a little bit. It has these beautiful pine doors, which are all original, but we made this other unit to kind of tie in with that. This wonderful wallpaper from Elitis called Glass, and if you look up, it almost becomes Affinity. And those are crystal fixtures from Lee Broom in London. And we just did a whole combination of them, kind of a little bit star at night kind of thing. In town, we have an open kitchen in Montreal, and I like that because it's more like during the week, you have a couple friends over, so while I'm cooking, I can be talking to them. Here, I actually like to go and make a big mess in my kitchen and shut the door and have people in this room. There was a lot of great original things. I mean, one of the things that you couldn't ask for included in a house like this is a walk-in fridge. You have a big island with a waterfall edge, which I actually love this with the ebonized oak cabinetry. This part of the island is actually a table, so it kind of makes it easier if someone's cooking and serving. And even one time in the winter, we actually pulled it over here and it was kind of nice sitting by the window. So flexibility kind of works nicely as well. All the original beams were here. My favorite thing, the real charcoal barbecue, which works like a charm. I love my kitchen. You know, I mean, I have a 36-inch Wolf gas range with a gas oven, which is important if you roast stuff. I have a induction top, an electric oven, warming drawer, 2 dishwashers, a side-by-side Sub-Zero, a walk-in fridge, and this great charcoal barbecue. I mean, I could open a restaurant. And I use it all. You know, I have a lot of clients who love to cook, and then I've done other houses where I'm sure when they move out, the instructions are still in the oven. So it's a real cook's kitchen. We have like gas range. I feel like I'm on The Price is Right. A real gas range. So we kind of have it all. So the other thing is to hide my little addiction back here is that we have this great room. And this is like kind of pantry, but it's more china storage, coffee, microwave, all that sort of stuff in this great little room. And the best part is that there's even a closet that was made with anti-tarnish lining for fitting all your silver. And of course my St. James plum puddings for Christmas. It's fun because it's a little bit of a surprise because it's like, looks like another part of the cabinetry running along the wall. So this is sort of the utility part of the house. It's a wonderful space. This was originally designed as the flower arranging area. And again, our wonderful talented architect put this thing so you could put a vase here, whatever, to put flowers in and things like that. All part of the original design of the house, all part of the charm. And then there's this wonderful laundry area. I actually ordered a bench for here, but it's never gonna come in, so that chair's there. And then there's this wonderful wallpaper that was designed by Kit Kemp in London. And I just loved it because it has like little house, like little castles with turrets. So you see on this wallpaper these little foxes. And you know our house is called Fox Hill, which is actually an anglicized remake of when the house was originally called Les Renauderies Raymond, which was the first family that owned the house. Renard is French for fox. And you'll even see on the gates when you come in these little bronze foxes. So we kind of kept that theme. Again, there's stories that we have about the house and about how it was originally designed that we kind of kept in mind. And so when I found this wallpaper, it was just perfect. And here's a great idea, how to hide your electrical panel. Bulletin board. This is our guest suite. It was actually a sitting room and a bedroom and a bathroom. And the original plans of the house was a maid's room. So maybe when I'm 100 years old and I need an attendant, they can stay here. But until then, it's a guest room So I did the bed like extremely contemporary, and we decided to put all the art in this room is from one artist. Her name is Isabella Di Sclafani. So I needed that one element that kind of made it feel French country. And I found from a dealer in Dallas this beautiful old pine chest, which I think kind of just pulls everything together nicely. Wonderful artwork, little bathroom with a great photograph from a good friend of mine and a wonderful photographer, Julie Couture. Again, it's nice and private. It's away from everybody else. So I like about this house. The guest rooms, each of them have their own sense of privacy. So again, behind one of these nice jib doors, on this side, it's the way to the cloakroom, the staircase to the other guest suite, and our powder room. And yes, surprise, surprise, I painted it black. But I just feel it makes this kind of coziness to the whole space. The coat closet is here. And of course, the door squeaks, kind of like a haunted house. And then I have my favorite photo of Auntie Betty in the closet here, which is great. So the staircase, I had this wonderful pineapple print from a Quebec artist, and it just became like the piece that was gonna go here. The green carpet just pulled in beautifully with this beautiful painting from Grant Boland, who's a Newfoundland artist, contemporary Newfoundland artist. I'm originally from Newfoundland, amazing place. I highly recommend it. This is really beautiful with this door opening, and it kind of just worked so beautifully to put this carpet here and just tie everything together nicely. Not that I recommend you choose your carpet for your art, but somehow this kind of just pulled itself together and it kind of works nicely. So through this other jib door, and what's really funny and it's kind of quirky is that this one you have to lift up on the handle and that one you have to push down on the handle. To me, you know what, we could have changed it, but I think it's kind of fun. I don't know, whatever. So the bedroom, you'll notice the ceilings again have this beautiful height to them. And you'll see these modules are the same modules of the living room pieces, but in this wonderful sort of teal velvet color. And I did the bed in the same color, but with a stripe embossed into it. And then these little round pieces. This is another piece that I've had for years in many houses and stuff like that. And I don't know why, I just love this little table and this great lamp. Again, another Canadian artist, David Burke, unfortunately just passed away a couple years ago. I love this painting. I didn't think I would ever put it in a master bedroom because it's a bit spooky looking, but it's kind of very cool. It has this, I don't know what happened, but it's kind of like blood on his hand or something. Almost all the upholstery that we use is designed by our firm and made by our upholsterer. But I found these great little mid-century nightstands. Again, to kind of, people are kind of like, wow, I never thought Scott would pick those. Well, guess what? Scott did, and I love them. This is the sort of private area of our master bedroom, which is kind of like the dressing room. So there's like closets in this wonderful room with one sink. It kind of links through to a sort of powder room toilet area. And then it kind of links through again to this side of the bathroom, which has a beautiful natural light and a nice view. And then you can come right through and go back out into the master. So we had this bedroom that would have been off this hallway, and we had to have a study, and I wanted to be open to the living room. So it was so easy to make a transition with this, because all we had to do was take out this wall, which was the back wall of a closet facing the living room. And now you have this beautiful arched view. This was another closet. Actually, the bar was built into a closet in the living room. So we put in this recess with the shelves just again for collections. And again, to promote Canadian artists, Ned Pratt, a wonderful photographer from Newfoundland. It's actually a photo of water coming over a breakwater. I think it's called The Wave. These are also photographs of his, of traditional Newfoundland houses in different states of collapse, shall we say. So I just find they kind of add a nice element in this room. And that's a piece by an artist named Ginny Yu, and it's all done in wax. And my favorite blue and white Chinese lamps. Shades made by Huguette, our wonderful shade maker. And see, that's what's nice is that, again, you can kind of close these beautiful antique doors and have privacy towards the master, or you can open them this way and get to appreciate the rest of this beautiful view and share like a connection to this room here. So that is Fox Hill. Thanks for visiting. The nice thing about having everything from notes from the architect to the client and having all his drawings and sketches is kind of like, you couldn't mess this house up. You had to respect it. Like, you saw how much original work was put into it. So we kind of took this dark house that, believe it or not, had at least 3 layers of window treatments on every window, and all of a sudden just opened it up. So it's me. This house is me. I honestly, this house was waiting for me. I just know that. It's really a weird feeling, but I come up to the driveway every day and I'm just like, this house is incredible. And it's our house, which is even better.